Welcome everyone to the 6th episode of the RPG Sanctum. I'm your host, Roy Burnett, and today our subject is going to be sexism in RPGs. Today with us we have returning Phil Willis.
Howdy.
Emmanuel Marino.
It's good to be back. Thank you for having me.
Sam Marcello.
I have a stack of Playboy next to my desk.
Coming on the show for the first time, Cassandra Ramos.
Hello?
And then we have two special guests from RPGFan.com, John McCarroll and Kim Wallace.
How's it going?
Thank you for having me.
Alright, Cassandra, since this is the first time we've had you on, go ahead and tell us what your IRC handle is and what you do for the site.
Okay, my handle is Strawberry Eggs, or just Strawberry. I'm a news poster for the site. I also do the occasional odd review.
Alright, and John and Kim, what do you guys do over at RPG Fan?
I am senior editor and webmaster. I am pretty much the site runner, or at least I was until Kimberly joined on. Lost a little bit of my responsibility then, but that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I'm a reviews editor, and I'm also a managing editor, and so I boss people around. I tell them I lay the smack down when they don't get their stuff done. It's pretty fun.
Woohoo!
Yeah, gotta be tough. Gotta hit those deadlines.
Alright, and as I mentioned, our subject for the night is going to be sexism in RPGs, and we are not going to just focus on just sexism in women's, we're going to do sexism for everyone. So everyone can totally feel included in our rants for the night.
Yay, genderness!
No,
Equality.
Yeah. Equality! Gender equality! Genderness! It's a word!
Ironic tidbit of the night. I just saw a thing on the National Geographic channel that there is one piece of, if nothing else, men and women do have equality in one aspect, is that according to a cannibal, all men and women taste the same.
Wow! I'm terrified.
So I hear bad things about third birthday, you guys.
Let's not start there. That might not be a good idea.
Random tidbit of the night.
Where are we? I mean, got the stack of Playboy here. I mean, how hard could it be to talk about third birthday? It's not even my Playboy. It just happens to be in my office. Sorry. I've been telling people about this all week.
Well,
I don't know why I have it.
Since Manny has been so kind as to mention the third birthday, we'll go ahead and start off the night with sexism in women. And Sam, take us off. Cue the tumbleweed.
I just want you to know that I think that when the clothes get blown off of a woman, every time she takes hits, that's not sexism, that's just realism. That's awesomeness.
You know what? I want to hurt Kitase for that one. I have a knitting needle in my hand. I should just go to Japan right now. Just beat him senseless with it. No one should ever say that clothes coming off the way that they do in the third birthday is realistic. How, her clothes get blown off her ass? I'm still trying to figure that one out. That makes no sense.
They come out in all the right places so conveniently.
Gotta love my jean thong. So hot. Okay, no. Let's take it to the serious note, because, I can rag on this with a sarcastic cheerleader tone all I want. Third birthday was the first time I had ever felt uncomfortable to be a woman. In a video game. Video games tend to not do this to me. So the fact that I had to play a game for work, which I haven't forgiven Maxstorm yet for, and probably never will, Maxstorm, there was something about it, and I'm not going to get to the ending yet, because I think it'd be fun, because Kim's played it too, we can talk about how morbid the ending is, and kind of what makes it worse. First off,
the third birthday is out, your embargo is lifted, spoilers are encouraged.
Exactly, I can now talk about it,
and
no
I don't
malice.
have to edit it out.
Okay, lots of malice, but still. Stuff. For most people who like Parasite Eve, especially because Parasite Eve is one of those games that was actually probably more popular with women than men. Every girl I knew growing up loved Parasite Eve. They loved Aya. They thought she was the coolest thing since, sliced bread. She was badass. She was humble. Like, she pushed the buttons in all the right way, and people just appreciated the type of heroine that she was. She wasn't perfect, but, she made tough chicks cool again.
Yeah. Well, no character is ever going to be perfect. When I posted my review, I had written that she was a badass to me. That, when I was younger, I remember playing the Parasite Eve, and the first scene where the opera scene's going on, and they open, and she's with her date, and all the chaos, happens, and she pushes her date out of the way, and she says, go outside, I'm going to handle this. And seriously, like, for me, a female watching that scene, I had never seen something like that before in a game, and to this day, it still resonates very strong with me. So when people try to sit there and act like she wasn't a tough chick, I think for us, when we were growing up, we weren't seeing much of that. So women in particular, really connected with that. And maybe when we played the game, we saw something that others really didn't pay as much attention to, because I've seen it brought up that people don't think Aya is as tough of a character as we made her out to be, which I think is interesting.
Well, see, that was the old Aya. The new Aya is tough as nails because she gets hit by blasts that just cause all of her clothes to get torn off, and yet she still stands. And that's a tough chick right there. The other Ayas, you never saw them get beat up a whole lot. I mean, their clothes were always on after all.
Phil, sweetheart, are we talking about the same game? Because I'm pretty sure Aya in the third birthday was a crybaby. And that deeply wounded me, okay? I saw my childhood idol, well, my other childhood video game idol, Lenneth Valkyrie was kind of the big one for me, but I was number 2. Seeing my childhood idol being slapped down into this wussy, prissy little thing just made me kind of cringe. Every time I played, I'm like, where's Badass Aya? Where'd she go? And I kept asking that question throughout the game, and I tried to avoid spoilers, and about halfway through I started to realize, I'm like, okay, this is not really Aya, but something's going on, and this is starting to really, pee in my cornflakes. I don't like it, and... Sorry, go ahead.
Is this actually worse? Is this actually worse than what they did with Samus and Other M? Because that's kind of sounds like the same direction. Because with Other M, it's like I'm used to having this. I was used to this badass, bounty hunter, and then it seemed like she got really kind of. I wouldn't say she started broken down crying or anything, but she seemed to have all these doubts and stuff like that. That just they were trying. I don't know if they were trying to make her more feminine character, but it wasn't Samus to me.
Yeah, I think the difference with Samus, though, was that Samus, despite the fact that we had all these Metroid games that had backstory, she was never presented in the game with dialogue. She was always this silent, stoic character. And for me, I didn't like the Samus that they presented in Other M, but it didn't seem like quite the character assassination. Now, I've only played a couple of hours of Third Birthday. But it seems like they have changed the character completely, as opposed to taking it would be as if you gave Chrono from Chrono Trigger words, and it didn't match up with kind of what you expected him to be.
It's like there was this thought playing the game, like you had an image of how a person was supposed to sound and act, and then when they don't live up to your expectations, it's like you have a panic attack. It's like, okay, that character... I feel like I've imagined it now, and it's not what I was thinking. And Kim says something in her review that I didn't think to mention, but the voice actress who plays Aya in the Third Birthday, there's something really creepy about her breathing pattern in the game, and it feels very hypersexualized. Like, every time she loads a clip, she'd be like, ugh! And
that annoyed me most about the game. When she got hit, it wasn't like an I'm hurt. It was like somebody was doing horrible things that I don't want to use the word right now because that's really bad to say. And there was something sexual almost to her moans. When she ran out of ammo going, what? I mean, like, it just felt so wrong in the context of everything. And I think what annoyed me about it was I was reading a lot of interviews, and the voice actress was really pumped to play someone like Aya Brea. Said, oh, she's such a tough female, it'll be great. And we get to the game, and it's anything but that. And I think when we had waited over a decade for a new entry in the series to get what you're a character that's not even close to what you had in the first two games, it sucks. Like, I think that's where a lot of the disappointment comes from. And then to add in the sexual stuff that, like with Aya Brea, throughout the game, like, she gets kind of talked down to a lot. I know there's some uncomfortable scenes where she's kind of treated like a piece of meat, like kind of like a perverted little toy, and she doesn't say anything. Like, she doesn't even try to laugh it off and be like, okay, that's enough now, or haha, you're so funny, stop. She just sits there and takes it, and it's like, wait a second, what the heck's going on here? Like, why are you just letting somebody talk to you that way? It just didn't, it felt really awkward and misplaced throughout the whole thing. I don't know how
interesting.
Go, man.
Interestingly enough, the voice actress who you're talking about is Yvonne Strahovski, or she's on Chuck. I think she was chosen for this role because she's a bit of a sex icon. After all, she did play Miranda Lawson in Mass Effect 2.
Who is not sexy whatsoever.
That's debatable based on what other people have said.
No. Not debatable.
Which is debatable based on what other people said, but interesting. But like, she was chosen for Mass Effect 2 because, she's supposed to be like this kind of sexy, very sexualized Australian hot actress, and I mean that's what she brought to Miranda Lawson. So it was interesting that they tried to bring that to Aya Brea, but then it's turned everyone off completely.
Well, the thing is that the actress brings this vulnerability to the voice that doesn't fit. Now, there's a reason why it's there, and we will get to that, but there's something very half-hearted about her voice acting in the game. There's like almost like lack of emotion, and when she is emotional, it just sounds really out of place.
Could it be she phoned it in? I mean, do you think?
I don't know. Like, it just, something about it just felt awkward and disturbing, and I know for me, I sat there and I was like, wait, they spent all this money to get you to do this voice, and you barely did anything with it. Screw you.
The funny thing, it could be true. It could be just that when it came down to it, she had more fun playing Miranda than she did playing Aya, and she just didn't
probably.
care.
And you know what? As much as Miranda is like the most horrendous character in Mass Effect 2, I'm sorry, I'm throwing it out there. I don't care. She sucks and is dumb. You know what? I would rather have listened to Miranda, as much as I don't like Miranda, over what she did to Aya. I will take Miranda over Aya in Third Birthday any day, and I really despise Miranda. But, like, just going back to some of the dialogue, like, Kim, you brought up sort of something that really bothered me in the game, and there's a scene where you meet a character from the old